Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Patriot Shield Millworks. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different, changing it up a little bit. We're going to be doing a fishing rod holder, fishing rod rack. I don't know what you want to call this thing, but it's either a rod holder or rod rack. Either way, it's something for your fishing poles to kind of just, be in. So we're going to do that. It's going to be awesome and stuff. So we're going to be using some 1x6 boards that I have here, that I had here already. And then we may have to use like a 2x4 and like rip it. I don't know yet. We'll see. We just kind of have to, we're going to kind of guess on this one. I have no plans for this. It's all up here. I haven't seen a picture. I haven't even thought of this. I just thought of this like 10 minutes ago when I was in my garage kind of cleaning it up a little bit. And I was like, man, I really need to get a rod holder thing done. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that today. So tonight, we're going to do it tonight. I don't know if you can hear the crickets in the background, but it's like 1:30 in the morning right now. So we're going to start off with just like an 8 bay, is it a bay? I don't know. An 8 fishing rod rack. Start off with 8. I don't know why 8. I have 8 fishing poles. I think I have 7 fishing poles, but 7 is such an odd number. I mean, it's an odd number, but it's also a prime number. But we're gonna start off with an 8 because do I have 7? Do I have 8? Now I'm guessing. Now I'm questioning how many fishing rods I have, which means I gotta go count, and then I've gotta buy another one if I don't have 8. I'm so disappointed right now. Just kidding. I'm gonna get a new fishing rod. This is awesome. First thing we need to do is lay out the holes for the rods. We're gonna basically cut a hole. Pretty big hole. It's going to be, probably like, I don't know, maybe a 1-inch hole, maybe a little bigger. Either about a 1-inch or an 1.25 inch hole. And then we're going to cut a hole, and then we're going to notch the wood. So let me get you a close up. So it's kind of look like that right there. So big hole there, and then we're going to cut that out, and then that way it's going to have like a nice little groove in it. And that way the rod can just fall right in. And then the bottom is just going to be probably just be flat, and then it'll be offset, so the bottom will be here and the top will be at an angle so they lean in, obviously. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how long this piece needs to be, and figure out I probably should have measured that spot where they're already sitting. That'd have been awesome, but I didn't think about that, so we're not going to do that. Alright, so I went ahead and laid it out and cut it. You might have saw that. You might have saw that. That's it. It's a wood shop joke. Alright, so this is going to be a 3-foot. This is a 3-foot long board. I cut it to 3 feet, 36 inches. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out my holes at 4 inches apart. Each one 4 inches apart. I have 8. 36 inches. 36 times 4 is actually 9. So, but we're gonna have a between each hole is gonna be like 2.5 inches. You're gonna use this here hole saw to start each one. For each hole, it's gonna be 1.5 inch hole. So between each hole will be 2.5 inches. I think. Yeah, sounds right. So we're gonna roll that. We're gonna roll that, and hopefully that works out. I think it will. And if it doesn't, then I'll be upset and start over. So what I love about that speed square, it's got all these little cool notches in it, and it just so happens that the 1.5 inch notch has a little diamond on it. So that's where I'm gonna start my. Anyways, Milwaukee's not a sponsor of this channel yet, but I love this speed square. I'm gonna be honest. I love this speed square. I really like this one, but I love this one. It's just so cute and compact. Just love it. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I'm wearing shorts. I don't know if you can see my legs, but I'm wearing shorts because it's hot today. It's very hot. So, anyways, I've talked enough. I'm going to shut up now. This is going to be, this is the 1.5 inch hole saw. It's really old, but it's still got some good teeth on it, so we're going to go with it. It's not like your Waffle House waitress. Just kidding. If you work at Waffle House, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Just kidding. So I went ahead and started a little pilot hole on each one of these little crosshair thingies. so that I could make this easier on myself. So that's what I did, and I don't really know why I said all that. So about halfway through that, I decided that I am probably going to rip this board down a little bit. I don't really need all this space here in the back, and it's just going to get used really by nothing. It's not going to get used at all, actually. But it'll collect dust, and honestly, it'll collect just more junk, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to make this as small as possible so that nothing gets set on it and left. That's a lot better. It's a lot more manageable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my straight lines for each one of my holes for the slot. There's a cricket in here. So that's basically what I'm going to do. That's basically what it's going to look like. I'm just going to cut these. If you have a jigsaw, you can use a jigsaw. If you are skilled enough with a table saw, you could do that. If you're daring enough, you could use your miter saw. If you have a bandsaw, you could use a bandsaw. I am running all of these saws through my head because I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. So I'm still thinking about it. So, I was thinking the bandsaw, to be honest. But now I'm thinking my table saw with a crosscut sled. But then again, that would do... bandsaw. I was afraid of that. So as you probably saw, with the bandsaw, the body of it kind of gets in the way. It's a kind of a small bandsaw. It was kind of cheap, so I bought it. But it's served its purpose for the most part, to show that you can definitely use a bandsaw. A jigsaw would probably be the best thing, but I, to be honest, hate jigsaws. So I'm going to use my table saw. Because I am a rebel like that. That actually worked quite well. I put a sanding cylinder thingy in my router to sand off all the inside edges right there, just to kind of give it a cleaner look, cleaner feel. Also, you don't want your fishing line to get caught up in on any of those. And I changed that out to I think it's called a roundover bit. I think just kind of knocks that that sharp edge off all the edges, and gives it a nice rounded edge. Kind of gives it a really professional look. Also kind of softens it up a little bit. So again, so that you don't get your fishing line doesn't get hung up on any of all the rough surfaces, the rough edges, and all that good jazz. Sometimes you use braided fishing line, and you don't want that getting hung up. So next, we're gonna use our random orbital sander to knock off all the pencil marks, kind of round off any of the edges that the roundover bit can't get. So I decided I was going to use, instead of this 1x6, I was going to use a 1x8, which is still only like 7 inches instead of like 5.5. So it's just a little bit bigger, wider bottom for like maybe a little bit of tackle, some stuff to set on the floor. Give it a little bit more room to breathe, set some stuff down on it if I need to. Also gives me a wider surface area to have a better platform, so I can have something to lean to hold the weight. If you're still with me, I appreciate you sticking it out so far. Hopefully you're enjoying this video. At this point, what I'm doing is using my table-mounted Craig jig to drill in some pocket holes for mounting onto the base plate, and I think I even did pocket holes on top to mount the top piece too. So obviously this step is I'm looking for some screws to mount the legs to the floor plate. The screws that I had were just a tad too long for the thickness of this wood. I didn't have the right size, but I ended up making the ones that I had work. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this build. I know it looks plain and simple, but it's just going in the garage. It's just going to hold my rods, my fishing rods. It's really it doesn't have to be beautiful. I might torch it just to give it a cool factor for, somebody to look at. I might paint it. I don't really know yet. But that's basically it. If you build one and you want to paint it, knock yourself out. But anywho, I digress. If you like this video, if you like the build, please hit that subscribe button. Share this with your friends and family. I appreciate that. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Also, check out my Store Frontier page where you can buy my awesome merch. And this is a new shirt that I just got. I haven't even washed it yet. I just brand new, put it on for the first time today. So that sounded really gross. I'm sorry, but whatever. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I also got a bunch of really cool new hats in. This one is a Richardson. It's a Mossy Oak Obsession pattern, camo pattern with the American flag, obviously. If you haven't figured it out by now, I love the American flag. I got a bunch of new hats that have a bunch of American flags on them, so they're really cool. That is Uncle Sam's Snapbacks. Check them out. I'll leave a link down in the description, along with the link for my Store Frontier page. That's all I got for you guys today. Y'all be good. I'll see you on the next. Yeah, I have a lake. So anyways, it's not a big deal. Just kidding. It's totally awesome.